Okay, so this is our video on congressional education, which is a voter education drive, and it's by me and Christy. Okay, so the problem we see is that people are unaware of how much a vote counts. And because they don't know the responsibilities of Congress, they tend to take that lightly. But because Congress has a lot to do with our government, it's important. Well, actually, it's vital that you understand why you need to pay attention to these things, because Congress does hold a lot of power in our government. And it's our duty to make sure that we select the right people to represent us, and so they can work for the will of the people and not themselves. Like I said, it's a problem because voters are misled and they're not interested really in Congress. They're more interested for the presidency. But Congress does have more power, and because Congress has a low rating right now, that's a cue that we need to elect new people and put in people that are appropriate, and so we can raise Congress's rating level. And it also, if we don't pay attention, it also creates a higher chance of someone who's unfit to be reelected. And that's just going to cause problems, because if they're not looking out for the will of the people, then, there's something wrong with that. Our driving question was, how do we as American citizens design a plan to raise awareness of Congress's responsibilities and the importance of the general election process in Congress for a public audience by using social media? First off, we want to explain what a general election is. A general election is one of the most common elections, and it's where it determines who's appointed and reappointed to the office, which is pretty important, because if you have a person who's doing kind of a cruddy job, that's not going to help us. And when a party has a majority elected into Congress, certain members gain control. For example, the House is controlled by the Republicans, and the Senate is controlled by the Democrats because they have a majority in there. So that's just an example for that. So the responsibilities of Congress, they have a lot of power over the country. For example, they can levy taxes, they can spend money on common defense and public welfare, they can regulate foreign interstates, and they're in charge of establishing neutralization, bankruptcy laws, and declaring war. Now, declaring war is pretty big, considering our own president doesn't declare war. Congress does. So, if you're anti-war, this is a good cue for you to understand that Congress is the people who declare war. So if you don't like war, make sure you're paying attention to who's in and who you vote for, because that's important. And one of the most important things, they make or break bills and laws. Now, if you want a law passed, you have to get the right people in Congress that are with your views on certain issues, because if you don't, your bill or law you want to pass is not going to get passed. So that's really important to understand, that you need to pay attention to what Congress is doing and what the representatives and the senators are doing. And, Congress represents the people, so, why not vote someone in who is with your views and understands you and is for the will of the people, not themselves? So that's important. And some things you can do to help, you can create advertisements or ads to air on the TV, radio, internet. And you can use social media, like Facebook, Twitter, and other pages that contain helpful information and polls. And the more active you are, the more you can maintain control over the governmental system, because you are picking people who you want to be there. And we did make a Facebook page. If you go to Facebook and type in Congressional Education, you will find it there. And I will show you that later. But first, let's continue on. So our solution is by explaining the responsibility of Congress in creating effective educational resources, this will allow voters to be more engaged in the election process and will help cast confident and knowledgeable votes. So we're hoping this helps eliminate some of the mindless voters and maybe start to raise them up to issue voters, maybe even higher than that. But this is supposed to help with that. And, just remember, you are the key to whether this nation prospers or perishes. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to take you to the Facebook page we have. And this is what it looks like. It's Congressional Education. And we made this in order to help individuals learn about Congress. And we have added links for to help people get more information. For example, if you scroll down, you can see my Prezi, and it tells you about the general election and the responsibility of Congress, like I showed you before. But this is a really important link right here. This Facebook page mainly is based on California's senators and representatives. And so this right here is a link to the voter registration. So this helps you register, and it also has the qualifications for you to vote and the deadline to register. So this is really helpful if you want to vote right here. And this link is important as well because it does show who our senators are and who her representatives are. And they have the districts drawn out. So that is really important if you want to know maybe who goes to which district. This has all the information for that. These two links right here. This link is for Dianne Feinstein. She's one of our senators, and this is her homepage. So this is really good information if you want to try to contact her or learn more about her and what she thinks on certain issues. And so that's really important. And this is also Barbara Boxer, our other senator for California. This helps with understanding the same information about Dianne Feinstein, except you can contact her and it has her contact information, and it has her views on certain issues. So that's good for that. As we scroll up, these two right here are the Republican Representative Daniel Lauren's views. This is his homepage, and this is an article from the New York Times about his views on gun control. And what's ironic is because he's a Republican, they're usually, they want people to be able to have guns to protect themselves, but he actually sided with the Democrats, which is quite interesting. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting, so I put that up there. And here's another Republican, Tom McClintock. You should all know him, name recognition. This actually lets you hear him talk about what his views are on gun control. So his views are different than Daniel Lauren's. So, I mean, that's interesting to compare the two. And I do have Barbara Lee. She's a Democratic representative. I did add her view on gun control, so that way you can have a comparison between what some Republicans and Democrats think about this issue. And I did the same thing for clean energy. I did Doris Matoon's views on clean energy. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, this is her views, and she's a Democrat. And this is Jeff Denham's view on clean energy. So he's a Republican. So I added those two so you can see both sides. But that's pretty much it. So this is a really helpful page, and I hope you guys learn.